afternoon, hello, and welcome to the OMNI Coalition News Show, aka TOCNS. This show is an amalgam of strange, weird, bizarre, off-the-wall, otherwise things you don't normally see anymore from most news sources these days. During a time of political overabundance and divisiveness, we present you with more unifying topics to discuss for the most part. For links to the articles, the music done by Carrera, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and today I am joined by...
MTM.
Yes, you are. Welcome to the show. It's been a little bit since we last had you on. So, anyway, today...
Oh, I was on the other day, yeah, but I had a breaking story I wanted to broadcast, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, today is Thursday, aka Thursday, January 5th, 2023. So, let's jump on into the news today, shall we? And I'm currently situating things in a little different manner right now because my other monitor is frozen and I couldn't restart prior to the show because I am still uploading onto the other platforms here. But anyway,
oh dear.
Yeah, so yeah, my other monitor likes to poop out every now and then.
Did you have a power outage or problem today?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay.
Well, hopefully I don't again. I mean, that has happened before, but for a different reason. Anyway, we have here from Zero Hedge, Putin sends warship armed with hypersonic missiles to Atlantic and Indian Oceans. I don't like the sound of that. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday ordered a warship armed with their new hypersonic Zircon cruise missiles to be deployed on a mission to the Atlantic and Indian Oceans in what could be a message and warning aimed at the West against escalating in Ukraine. The deployment of the frigate appears intended to make maximum possible public impact, given the announcement was made by Putin himself in a televised conference call with his defense minister, Sergei Shoigu. Oh, wow. So along with Shoigu, Putin addressed Igor Krokhmal, commander of the frigate, which bears the name Admiral of the Fleet of the Soviet Union Gorshkov, and reminded him the ship, while on mission, is armed with Zircon hypersonic weapons, again in a coordinated message which unveiled the deployment to the public for the first time. So, and we all know that we don't have really the infrastructure fully to detect weapons like that going at that speed. So,
that's right, we don't have an Iron Dome like Israel does.
Yeah, which was all paid for by U.S. tax dollars. Huh.
Yeah.
You know, the U.S. for some reason is arming Israel, who's an aggressor towards Palestine. You know, what side are we on? We're not the good guys here, at least in that situation.
Hans, are we the bad guys?
Are we the baddies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've been seeing signs of this for a while, even months before the war. Putin was sending his oldest Navy vessels to the Mediterranean, trying to sort of play a game of risk IRL by blocking off borders, right, that you can possibly run to box them in. Mm-hmm. There's such a small territory as is.
And let's not forget that they have that one submarine over there with that tsunami nuke thing.
Yeah.
But let's move on up here. You got some California news to drop on us.
Yes, California news. Things are getting a little scary, to say the least. Evacuations ordered as California bomb cyclone unleashes powerful winds, heavy rain, and a state of emergency declared. So yesterday, Gavin Newsom actually declared a state of emergency. Yeah. And Wednesday, a powerful storm generated 45-foot waves out at sea, dropped soaking rain on already saturated ground, and prompted warnings of floods, mudslides, and knocked out power for more than 100,000 people.
Thankfully, I'm not one of them. So, we haven't really been getting that slam where I'm at, thankfully, but it might still be coming. So, the show itself might be knocked out of commission for a couple of days. We'll see.
We'll have to see. The storm was expected to dump up to 6 inches of rain in parts of the San Francisco Bay Area, where most of the region would remain under flood warnings into late Thursday night. In Southern California, however, the storm was expected to peak in intensity overnight into early Thursday morning, with Santa Barbara and Ventura counties likely to see the most rain, forecasters said.
Okay, so I'm clear. Good.
Hopefully. I think the evacuation order is for Santa Cruz and Santa Barbara because those are coastal towns, right there on the beach already.
Yeah. Okay. So
But yeah,
I'm
lots
a
of
fair
lots of
distance inland,
overturned
so I'm
trees
good.
and things.
Yeah.
A couple houses in San Francisco got totally flooded. Even on as early as New Year's Eve, actually, people were redlined,
Yeah, I
red
think we were
flag.
talking about this once or twice, or maybe were you in the extravaganza? I don't remember much of that night. That was rough.
I broke the news about the state of emergency
A couple nights
yesterday, I
ago.
believe.
Yeah.
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 Well, Wednesday actually it was
Yeah.
the story that came out. So that was yesterday.
Yeah,
Today's-
yeah, it was Wednesday because I spoke with Dad about it, saying like Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency, he's mobilizing the National Guard, like
Mobilizing National Guard, yeah.
like I was actually this is kind of weird. I was driving home last night, and on the radio it was talking about how a lot of cities have like free sandbag areas. So like if you need sandbags, you just go there, pick it up, stuff like that. And I'm just
Humans
like, oh my
helping
god,
humans.
like what's going on? Like,
Triple H, humans helping humans.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you scroll down, wind gusts as high as 80 miles per hour.
Where?
It's a little bit below that picture.
Okay. Wind gust. Is it this thing? No. Where's the wind gust that you're talking about?
Oh, it's sorry, I scrolled a little bit too far down. My apologies. It's
They face outages, helping homeless people from storm, evacuations ordered in coastal cities, flight disruptions amid powerful storm, of course.
yeah.
So, residents.
Southwest Airlines offered free rebooking.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
Delta
I
Airlines
think
for
somebody got
travel waiver.
screwed over by Southwest recently. Like I don't remember who it was, but somebody said something about being screwed over by Southwest recently. So I wonder if this was involved in this too. So anyway, let's move on up
Actually,
here.
yeah, right below that. Yeah, let's move. We can move on though.
From Geller Report, never heard of this place. COVID vaccines fueling new COVID variants. So whoa, that's frightening. The vaccines have zero benefits. On the contrary, they are harmful. That's just all stuff I know. Public health experts are sounding the alarm about a new Omicron variant dubbed XBB that is rapidly spreading across the northeast U.S. Some studies suggest it is a different form of the original COVID strain from Wuhan, as the 2003 SARS virus. Should U.S. citizens be worried? It isn't clear that XBB is any more lethal than the other variants, but its mutations enable it to evade antibodies from prior infection in vaccines as well as existing monoclonal antibody treatments. Growing evidence also suggests that repeated vaccinations may help people more susceptible to XBB and could be, or may make people more susceptible to XBB and could be fueling the virus's rapid evolution. So, yeah, we played with God, and now the fire is coming back at us. Prior to Omicron, sorry?
Oh, it is rather alarming. It's actually a repeat of history almost.
Huh.
Do you know the? Back in high school, I had a principal actually who worked in a. He was a chemist that worked in a factory that made pills that treated people with HIV/AIDS.
Dang.
And the way that the worked is that it blocked the antibodies from being able to block it. Created a blocker from the antibodies that would latch onto the cell to spread the AIDS. But the AIDS virus actually altered and evolved and changed its ability to grasp onto the. It changed its sort of claw entirely and changed the shape of it and was able to latch onto the antibodies
that's
anyway.
Frightening. Oh my god. That's scary. That is scary.
So it almost becomes
hell?
like it almost becomes like a band-aid solution for a huge problem.
I mean, like, if we want herd immunity, well, we need herd immunity. We, everything that we've done is the polar opposite of what should have been done. We should not have locked down. Like, yeah, people were sick, stay at home, get better, but like the poke was just rushed, and don't forget who rushed it. Orange Man, number 46 or whatever, or 45. Which one? 45?
Yeah, I believe it's 45.
45. So, yeah, like he expedited that. So don't forget that. Everybody who idolizes that man, don't forget that fact. And the other facts that, among other things, he somehow bankrupted a casino. Okay, but yeah, anyway, but onto the topic here. We should have, allowed it to spread. I mean, what do you do when your child doesn't have chicken pox? You send it to the kid with chicken pox, because trust me, that's a lot worse for adults. I think it's called.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Adults die of chickenpox all the time.
Yeah.
Where are we at this point? Prior to Omicron's emergence?
Yeah, but you want to have your antibodies. That's your soldiers. Your body is a nation.
Yeah.
Your antibodies, your white blood cells, all that stuff. Those are your soldiers, and you get invaded all the time. You want to keep your army strong. And you can't do that by putting yourself in a bubble. So you got to test the metal sometimes. So. But let's continue on up here from the Western Journal. The Joker is pregnant. DC Comics goes woke in latest release centered around infamous villain. And I have a video here. This link to this as well is in the underbar, and this is a good video to watch. Because I don't want to get too much into this, because this is going around for obvious reasons. The Joker being pregnant. Of course, it's popular news right now. So I'm not really going to get much into that. And go ahead and go to that video. It explains it much better.
It's I'll just quickly say, I just think there's a famous sentiment about if you control the language, you control the populace.
Oh yes.
They've added emojis for both male and women and non-binary for like everything, including pregnant. So there's also a pregnant man emoji.
Yeah. Well, no, I remember. I think it was Salty Cracker did a video about that, comparing him to Bill Gates, because Bill Gates kind of looks like the emoji with his,
Yeah.
So
could be.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
A spell cast on him by superhero Zatanna after the former propositions the latter to start a family.
Yeah. So. The
What
Joker of all things, But yeah, let's move on. Let's see here from Rebel News. We have fake trans identifying COVID doctor, an online influence operation. Dr. Honeymoon has almost 6,000 followers, but his tweets about the seriousness and deadliness of COVID are spread far and wide. What's going on here? As many citizens of Western countries have come to learn, their authorities have gone to extraordinary lengths to get their respective populations to believe certain things about COVID and pandemic policy. Yeah. All right. So let's not get into this, because we've already. I don't want to rattle the cage too many times, per show, and we have talked about this a couple of times already. So let's if anybody's interested, the link is of course in the underbar. So let's move on up here. From Rebel News, Ontario school boards soliciting sexual information about children through perverse surveys. Wow. Boards looking for raw data are administering these grotesque surveys in the classroom to ensure a high response rate. What? So, hold on. There's the article. Various school boards across Ontario are soliciting the sexual preferences of young students through in-classroom surveys, sometimes unbeknownst to parents and guardians. One survey is referred to as Student Census, and the other is called School Climate Survey. No, they do not mean the climate as in the alarmist global warming narrative, but rather the general school environment and how everyone feels in the classroom and at school. A viewer previously informed me that certain school boards were soliciting the gender identity and sexual orientation of young school-aged children in a data collection initiative undertaken at school. It was discovered through an Access to Information Request, ATIP, that this data collection initiative cost Ontario taxpayers at least $2.5 million. Wow. So,
wow.
Yeah, your tax dollars at work, people. Ridiculous.
They pay and they don't save. Wow, the children.
Yeah.
ATIP led the further discovery that the line of questioning about gender identity and sexual orientation in the student census was explicitly meant to be sent home for parents and guardians to complete, email communications show. Yet in some instances, school boards bypass that parental protection and went ahead and conducted the information gathering exercise largely unbeknownst to parents and guardians. Yeah.
Yeah, let's cut it off there because I want people to go to the article and give that the foot traffic and stuff. But that is absolutely appalling. You know, like what are we gonna do? Like everywhere is a mess. Like everywhere, there's no one facet of our society that isn't like on fire right now. This is insane.
Maybe we need more rain. We got to deal with the mud too, though.
Yep. Yep. Got some more here. Do you want to take this one?
In the last 100 years, there's been a 13-fold increase in infrastructure. On last night's episode of The Gun Show, Sheila Gunn was joined by Tom Harris of the International Climate Science Coalition, ICSC, to discuss climate change.
IC Southern California? Huh.
A new year is upon us, but some things never change. The environmental movement remains consistently wrong and continues to conflate weather events with catastrophic apocalyptic climate.
We're talking about this crap again. We just can't get rid of it.
Joining Sheila to discuss his comprehensive climate fact check of the media is Tom Harris of the International Climate Science Coalition. Quote, the kind of monsoon rain they've had is not out of natural variability, said Harris. In fact, overall, since the 1950s, we're finding that the monsoon rainfall has actually dropped. It was unusually wet year during the summer.
So let me try to find how does this have anything to do with infrastructure? I'm confused.
Well, adverse weather affects people's ability to, I suppose, compete in the market is the argument that people often make.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in here about infrastructure. It just talks about this climate change stuff. So.
Yeah, but it's just a climate change thing, propaganda.
All right, let's move on up here. Sorry for giving you a crap one. I didn't know. My bad.
Oh, it's all quite all right. News is news.
Yeah, well, this is not really news here. This is just what was expected. Like with Gavin Newsom, signing into law that all fast food employees specifically start at $20 minimum wage. Now, from Rebel News here, fast food chains turns to robots to address labor shortages amid rising prices. Yeah, automated machines can grill burgers, brew coffee, and greet customers for a fraction of the cost of hiring human workers. Yeah, good job. That's exactly what he wanted. People ate it up. So, as the restaurant industry continues to grapple with labor shortages and rising food prices in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, major fast food chains such as White Castle and Chipotle are turning to robots for assistance. Automated machines can grill burgers, brew coffee, and greet customers for a fraction of the cost of hiring human workers. The National Restaurant Association reported that 4 out of 5 operators have been understaffed since the beginning of the pandemic. White Castle is testing a robot named Flippy, built by Miso Robotics at 100 locations. This AI-powered machine can cook 300 burgers and deep-fry potatoes for around $3,000 a month. Chipotle, on the other hand, has hired one-arm robots to make tortilla chips at 73 locations for the same price. However, not everyone is convinced that automation is the answer to the industry's problem. Dave Henke's a principal at Technomic, a restaurant research firm, told CNBC that while the experimentation with augmentation will eventually lead the industry somewhere, the industry is still largely labor intensive. But yeah, I understand, cost and overhead and all that stuff, but something that really comes to mind is when, the last time I went to a Red Robin, out in Brea Mall,
right.
We got there and we were just told to just seat anywhere. So there's not a seater, okay? So there's no one there. So we're just waiting for menus, waiting for a server, no server. Eventually, I'm just I stopped a busboy. I'm like, hey, where's our person? Oh, you have to use a tablet. I'm like, what? And there's a tablet right there, like an iPad or something, and you order on that, and they bring it out to you. Oh my god, dude! Why go out? That's part of the experience, talking with people. It's the interaction, if you don't really know what you want, what would you recommend? I like, The Royal Red Robin Burger has an egg on it. It's really good. But be careful, that yolk can blow up on you. It did on me. That's a real story, actually. I got egg yolked. So, yeah, everywhere. But no, like, that was just awful. It was just like, dude, I've never been to a Red Robin since. You know, just completely sucked the enjoyment out of it. Really sad.
Yeah, it seems like they would need to, like, AI wouldn't be the final answer to solving this problem. You would still want people to maintain the AI and prevent them from serving people improperly or making mistakes and not even realizing and then correcting those mistakes, right?
Yeah.
You would need a monitor for this AI.
Yeah.
AI
I mean,
security.
like, I knew things were going to hell when McDonald's started having those little kiosks. You just ordered on there. It's just like, dude, like, why do you go out? Like, you know, just...
It does prevent quays in the line, which is their biggest problem, is, you know, they'll have, like, that's kind of why they set up the registers like that, so there's, like, 4 or 5 registers that people, 4 or 6 registers that people can order from. But even that got to be not enough, and people would need to order in queues and then wait for their electronic machine to serve the order to the restaurant to get them.
But, you know, like, this is inevitable. Like, it's the march of progress. Like, you know, automation. You know, like, we used to be a very industrialized nation, and with, like, you know, like, Henry Ford perfected the what's it called, the assembly line, and then now that's all robots. You know, like,
mostly robots.
Yeah.
And if they're not robots, it's humans that are being monitored by a security system to figure out how those jobs could be automated, like at Tesla plants, for example.
That's scary. Just knowing you're being watched. They're looking for ways to replace you. Wow. That's sad, bro.
That's why I quit, man.
Fuck.
That's one of the reasons I quit.
Let's move on up here. That's depressing. More from Rebel News. Oh, here, this is depressing too. Suspect who attacked NYPD officers with machete wanted to kill people and carry out a jihad. We spoke about this the other night. There's somebody dead, like, off air. Authorities say that the suspect attacked 3 New York Police Department officers near Times Square on Saturday at around 10:11 p.m., attempting to strike one before hitting 2 officers in the head with a machete. Oh, God. In the head? Oh, no. The teenager, Jesus, accused of attacking 3 New York Police Department officers with a machete on New Year's Eve, shouted Allahu Akbar, which is Arabic for God is great, during the incident, and wanted to murder government officials, authorities said on Wednesday. Prosecutors allege that the 19-year-old male from Wells, Maine, traveled to New York City last week, quote, to kill people and carry out a jihad, end quote, according to CNN. The suspect, who has not entered a plea deal, faces a mandatory life sentence after being charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of attempted assault. He's being held without bail and is scheduled for another court appearance on Friday. Oh my God. Like,
authorities say the suspect attacked 3 officers in New York, of the New York PD, near Times Square on Saturday around 10:11 p.m., attempting to strike one before hitting 2 others with the head. The suspect also allegedly tried to grab an officer's gun, but couldn't get it out of the holster. He was reportedly placed on an FBI terror watch list recently after his aunt claimed he had been radicalized online and expressed desire to fight overseas for Islamic extremists.
Alright, let's end it there with that, but, that's insanity, dude. Like, you know, I honestly, like, I've kind of been, like, you know, like, half checked in, half checked out, you know, mentally for the past couple of days, so, like, the conversations I've been in off air, I haven't really been fully paying attention to, but I remember hearing about this somewhere, like, the past couple of days, and this is absolutely insane, you know, we're like, you know, now we have jihadists attacking police officers, like, wow, so, just insane. Let's move on up here from Oddity Central. This is odd. Pakistani man welcomes 60th child, wants to have even more kids. Dude, how can you afford that? Jesus. A 52-year-old doctor in Pakistan recently made news headlines for welcoming his 60th child and claiming he wants to have even more kids with his 3 wives. Sardar Jan Mohammed Khan Khilji, a resident of Quetta, the capital of Balochistan, has a very big family that he hopes to keep growing in the coming years. The Pakistani doctor, who runs his own clinic in the city, has 3 wives and just welcomed his 60th child, a son he named Kushal. Kushal.
Yeah,
that's a lot more than enough for most people, but
what is that? Three wives, 60. That's 20 children per woman.
On average, yeah.
Yeah, on average, yeah. If that's, unless there's, give or take.
That is absolutely insane, dude. Like, why? Dude, this dude's gonna like make his own city. Just watch.
Good.
But yeah, no, all those kids, like, honestly, they really need to move as far away from each other, because now there is like a serious problem of incidental, inbreeding. Like, a generation or two later, like.
No, yeah. Pakistan actually, in particular, has one of the highest populations of microcephalics in the world.
Oh man.
Which is crazy to me. And most stillbirths in the UK are from Pakistani families as well. Unfortunately.
Wow, there you go. Let's move on up here from the Mirror. Oh, this is dark here. Harry, as in Prince Harry, I believe, made chauffeur repeatedly drive through the Paris tunnel at exact speed Diana crashed. So through the tunnel at the same speed and repetitively, so back and forth. That's really weird. Prince Harry has admitted to his new book, in his new book, that he once has himself be repetitively driven through the tunnel in which his mum was killed at precisely 65 miles per hour in a bid to get closure. Oh, okay. So he's just trying to. It's a strange way to say goodbye, but okay. Yeah. Prince Harry has revealed that he asked the chauffeur to recreate the night of his mom died in hopes of ending the decade of unrelenting pain that followed her death. 2007, the Duke of Sussex asked his driver to take him through the Pont de l'Amal tunnel, where Princess Diana had sustained fatal injuries in 1997, according to leaked passages of his upcoming book, Spare. The then 23-year-old prince also requested that his chauffeur drive at about 65 miles per hour, to be precise, the same speed that his mother's car had been driving when it crashed. Harry, who had been in Paris attending the semi-final of the Rugby World Cup, then admitted to trying to fight his bodyguard, Billy the Rock, after drinking himself senseless to numb the pain following the incident. Ay, man. So, poor guy. Oh.
It just goes to show, money doesn't solve your problems. You can still have a messed up family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, jeez, man. Princess Diana. Anyway, we got more here from the Mirror. 6 women were arrested after toddler dies at nursery in suspicious circumstances. The youngster died on Friday, December 9th, at a nursery in Bourne Street, Dudley, and a criminal investigation was launched following a visit by Ulsfed after the boy's death. 6 women have been arrested in connection with the death of a 1-year-old boy at nursery in Dudley, West Midlands. The tot's death is being treated as suspicious, police have said. The youngster died on... okay, we already read that one. The nursery has been closed by the government's Office for Standards in Education, Children's Services and Skills, along with other linked premises. 3 women, aged 20, 23, and 50, were arrested on Friday, December 16th, on suspicion of gross negligence, manslaughter, and were subsequently released on bail with strict conditions while police inquiries continue. So, yeah, I wish that this crime gets solved. That's awful. So...
Bizarre. 6 women.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it says here 3 of these women here, so... But I wonder what the other 3 were.
Accomplices, maybe? Getaway drivers?
Maybe like a janitor or something? I don't know.
Yeah, inside woman.
Yeah. Oh.
Can I take this one?
Yes, go for it.
British girl 13 feared abducted on Caribbean island holiday after popping to shop.
Huh.
Oh, excuse me. Dalika White, Lazama's distraught family say they are beyond desperate to find their beloved daughter, sister, and niece, who was last seen walking along a street in Trinidad on December 17th. A young British girl is feared to have been abducted while on family holiday in the Caribbean more than 2 weeks ago. Dalika White Lezama, 13, from Greenford, London, disappeared while accompanying her mum and brother on the trip to Trinidad to visit her grandmother. She was last seen on a black road after visiting a corner shop near her grandmother's house. In the town of Sangre Grande at around 4 p.m. on December 17th. Her family frantically began searching for her after realizing she hadn't come home 10 minutes later, but were unable to find any trace of the teenager. That's her.
Oh, I forgot my mic was muted. Yeah, no, it's just saying, wow, like, she's tall for a 13-year-old. But, no, like, man, that's awful. Like, when you're visiting a foreign land, you know, don't let your 13-year-old just go out somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the Caribbean?
Yeah, Caribbean.
Dude, like, that's not a good place sometimes. You know? Especially historically. So, this one is really sad here. So I don't want to get too much into this, but I just do want to raise awareness of this. We got more from the Mirror. Mum run over and killed in hospital car park on first visit to see baby granddaughter. Yeah, Mary Owen Jones, at the age of 52, died 2 days after being struck by a car on the hospital visit on the day her daughter gave birth to baby April Rose on New Year's Day. Wow. I don't want to read this. This is tragic, but the link to this is in the underbar. You still there, MTM?
I am. I'm
okay.
Just following along.
Okay. So.
Walking between two cars at the main entrance of the Glen Captain Hospital. Wow.
Yeah.
Always look both ways.
That's why I say, you know, at the end of every show.
That's why you say it.
Yeah.
Gotta remind them.
Yes. Every intersection, not just cars, not just when you're driving. When you're in the supermarkets, you're going down the aisle, you can't just bust out into like main drag. Stop and look, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you're walking, you stop and look. When you're driving, you stop and look. Everywhere, always, all the time. And so
I used to be a big enjoyer of longboarding, skateboarding, and biking around town, and I took a solidarity leave of absence one time. A friend of mine from an old job I worked passed away in a 5-way intersection accident.
Oh my God,
admittedly
5-way?
a little bit harder. Yeah, it's crazy things going on here.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. That's a little bit harder to look both ways on, right? You have to look all 5 ways into it. But
yeah, I didn't realize that those existed. I've played like you know, Cities Skylines and I think that's the game. Where I played around. I've made like 8-way intersections and I've done like crazy stuff, but like 5 ways. Like, so here's a 5-way intersection here. Oh my God, dude, bro, like look at that. How?
Well, yeah, that's like a freeway overpass.
No, that's not. That's just,
really?
That's a surface street.
Road. Wow.
No, you can see the sidewalks right here, and the walk.
Yeah, sometimes there's like circles or some kind of things like that, or roundabouts. Right.
This is from City Skylines here. Like, some people get really creative.
That's like a Celtic symbol or something.
It is. Yeah. No, dude, like they get nuts. This looks like a starfish to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm getting a lot of vibes of like that starfish from Suicide Squad, the final monster thing.
Oh yeah,
it even has
yeah.
Splits and its tentacle things, big ol' eye in the middle. But anyway, let's get back on track here. From UPI, man climbs tree to escape charging moose in Alberta. I would too. An Alberta man fled up a tree when he encountered an aggressive moose in his neighborhood and captured video of the animal charging back and forth below. David Meredith said he was walking in his Andrews, on the lake neighborhood in Red Deer when he noticed a moose nearby. Quote, he ended up doing a bluff charge, Meredith told CTV News, so I took that as opportunity to scream like a little girl and run up that tree, end quote. Meredith recorded the video of the moose once he reached a safe branch. The footage, which she posted on Facebook, shows the moose using his antlers to shake branches. Quote, he was grunting and had every intention to trample me by looks of things, end quote, Meredith said. He said the moose finally left the area about 10 to 15 minutes, allowing him to climb down and walk home. So that's weird. He was straight up attacked.
Yeah.
Like, this moose was coming for him. Like, what is the problem?
I was watching the home video. And yeah, the moose is kind of like stalking him and kind of like running back and forth in a very agitated manner.
That's weird.
I did not know. I've never heard of a moose eating meat or having any kind of carnivore aspect to its diet. It's bizarre.
Well, I'm not sure if it was hunting for food. I think the moose just wanted to kill somebody, but that's just as weird, you know?
Oh yeah.
But, weird. Anyway, more from Oopie. A message in a bottle found in Florida River 39 years later. A Florida couple who found a message in a bottle on the shore of a river were able to track down the Texas man who authored the message 39 years later, or earlier. Shelia and T-Ben Piles said they were participating in a neighborhood cleanup in South Jacksonville in February 2022 when they found an old bottle on the shore of the St. Johns River. The bottle bore writing that said "Look inside," and the couple opened it to find a message. Quote, if you are the person that found this bottle, please send a note to Ron Clark, quotes, the message said. The note bore an address in Texas, but the couple said the bottle appeared to be decades old and they doubted the address would be current. Months of research in contacting Ron Clark, who turned out not to be the message's author, led to their discovering a man bearing the name lived in Mebane, North Carolina, and used to reside in Texas. So yeah, I'm not going to read the rest, so that way, go, you guys go read the rest. But that's pretty cool. So, yeah, look at that, look inside. Huh. Anyway, more from UPI here. 89-year-old woman received her master's degree. Yes, it's never too late to get educated, even when you're 89. So that's cool. An 89-year-old Florida woman had something extra to celebrate during the holidays when she received her master's degree. So Florida, hey, I know a couple people out in Florida.
Well, a feel-good story from local Florida woman. Look at that.
I know, right? How about that for a nice change of pace? Joan Donovan donned a cap and gown for a private graduation ceremony outside her Florida home to celebrate earning her master's degree in creative writing from Southern New Hampshire University. Donovan said she graduated high school at the age of 16, but her family didn't have the money to send her to college, so she took some postgraduate courses at her local high school, but education fell to the wayside after she got married and started a family. Donovan went back to school to earn her associate's degree after her children moved away from home, and she graduated with a bachelor's degree from a 4-year university at the age of 84. Quote, wow. Then I said, why not keep going, end quote, Donovan said in a news release from SNHU. She determined that she wanted to earn her master's in creative writing, but her college didn't offer a program. She ended up enrolling in SNHU, Southern New Hampshire University, online program to pursue her goal. Quote, I was afraid to try college, Donovan said, so I say try things. If you fail, try it again, but just keep trying, end quote. What, good going, man. You know, that is...
Great going.
Yeah. Dude, like, this lady deserves some respect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think this is a wonderful strategy for others to try, albeit that it took her a rather long while. She lived in the real world before she went to college. I think that's a problem that we face in modernity is...
people live in college before they get in the real world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it doesn't prepare them for the real world when they graduate, yeah.
And hey, like, you know, like, life gets in the way. And, you know, sometimes you gotta put your dreams on hold. Like, you know, my mom, unfortunately, never got to live one of her dreams. She wanted to be a doctor. But she never had the time or the money to, you know, even pursue the education. But she loved watching those ER shows, you know, like you see inside all the guts and the flesh, the bleh. I can't stand watching it, but she loved those. And, you know... Yeah,
I mean, if you can bear witness and you can tolerate it, you can actually help people that are incredibly suffering.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And it's too bad life got in her way, you know, so much. She was, you know, she never really got a chance to breathe. Life was relentless for her. unfortunately. But hopefully all the sacrifices she made to help raise me and everything, hopefully I can do something with my life to make hers, that much more worth it. So that's why I'm doing this show.
Yeah, you tell the people what's good.
Yeah.
And what's not so good, but
yeah, yeah, but good on you, Joan Donovan. Good on you. So let's move on up here, and our last story of today from UPI. British hotel chains lost and found items include puppies and a wedding cake. How do you lose a wedding cake? What?
A puppy I can understand, but a wedding cake, yeah.
Hotel chain Travelodge revealed the most unusual items left behind in British locations in 2022, including a pair of Japanese chin puppies and a soccer team-themed wedding cake. Okay, that's probably why it was abandoned. Travelodge, which operates 580 hotels in Britain, had said some of the most unusual items to pass through its lost and found office. As the pair of puppies named J-Lo and Ben. Oh, J-Lo and Ben, really? Oh my God. That were left behind at its Bath Central location in Liverpool Football Club themed wedding cake at the Liverpool Central Strand Travelodge, where their wedding's best man had been staying. Some other unusual items to be returned with their owners included a pair of donkeys named Daisy and Duke, keys to a Sunseeker Hawk 38 powerboat, an oil painting of Queen Elizabeth II, a matching pair of Segway scooters, a 4-foot-tall model of the Gingerbread Man, a seagull, and a 6-foot-long Longwood Chinese dragon. What the hell, bro?
That's like a pygmy dragon. How do you lose that? Jeez.
Dude, how do you lose scooters? How do you lose an oil painting? Like, why is somebody bringing an oil painting to a Travelodge? That's bizarre.
If those walls could talk, man.
Oh man, dude, I would like to listen to some of those stories. Tell you what. But yeah,
I tell you what, yeah.
I tell you what. I sell news and news accessories. And that concludes the show.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Once again, check the underbar of the description for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of different, odd, and otherwise known news, we stream Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 3 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, and 11 p.m. German in most of Europe time, I believe. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
And I'm MTM.
And you are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in some history, we do history every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time. Whatever the case, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection. There's my thing. Rate 5 thumbs and subscribe. Toodles!